Alright, so here's the video for solving linear equations, chapter 1 stuff. And so I just want to make a quick note, first of all. The way we typically solve linear equations is to use the order of operations in reverse. And if that doesn't make sense now, it'll become very clear as we continue to do problems with linear equations. So what I want to do is type out an example here and then go ahead and figure out the answer. Alright, so here's the example. You have two summer jobs. In the first, you work 28 hours per week and earn $7.25 an hour. In the second job, you earn $6.50 per week, but you can work as many hours as you want. And so the question is, if you want to earn $255 a week, how many hours must you work at the second job? And just a reminder that you can pause the video at any time, so if you want to pause the video right now and try to figure this out for yourself, I would encourage you to do that. But let's go ahead and solve it. So let's write down some important information. For our first job, we're working 28 hours per week and earning $7.25 per hour. And so if we think about it, we work 28 hours per week. Every hour we work, we earn $7.25. So if we just do $7.25 times 28, we'll get our total earnings per week from that first job. So let's just do that. We have total equals 28 times 7.25, and this gives us $203 per week. Okay, so that's what we know about our first job. What do we know about the second job? Well, we know that we can earn $6.50 an hour, and we can work as many hours as we want. So for the second job, our only constraint is $6.50 per hour. Alright, so knowing this information, we can move on to the last part of the problem, which is you want to earn $255 per week. So let's just quickly set up a weekly earnings equation. So our weekly earnings they will equal the total earnings per week from the first job, which is 203, plus the total weekly earnings from the second job, which is 650 times the number of hours, which we can call H. So 650 per hour times the number of hours H that we work will give us our weekly earnings from the second job. So our total weekly earnings are earnings from the first job plus 650 times H, the earnings from the second job, and we have to solve this when weekly earnings equals 255. So let's just plug that in. 255 equals 203 plus 650 times H. So let's solve for H, which is the number of hours that we must work at the second job. Alright, so we're going to solve for H here, and the way we do this is, like we said at the beginning, we're doing the order of operations essentially in reverse. So I'm just going to use black. Alright, so order of operations, we have PEMDAS, and I want to do this in reverse, so we're going to do addition and subtraction first. So let's try to isolate this variable H. We want to isolate this guy. So the first thing we do is do addition or subtraction. Well, in this case, we have something that we can subtract from both sides. Let's subtract 203 from this side and subtract 203 from that side. Alright, so on the left side we are left with 255 minus 203 is 52. And on the right side we're left with 650 times h. Okay, so on the right side we have nothing left to add or subtract, but we do have a product, so we can do our either division or multiplication next. And so if we want to isolate h, we have to think about what we have to do to 650 times h to get h by itself. And if we just divide this side by 650, then these will cancel out and we'll have h by itself. But we know that if we divide the right side by 650, we also have to divide the left side by the same thing. And it turns out that 52 divided by 6.5 equals 8. And we know that 6.50 divided by 6.50 equals 1. So we're just left with 1 times h, or just h. And so here we are saying that we must work 8 hours at the second job. And so that's just a quick example of how to start with a word problem and convert that word problem into a linear equation where you can solve for the exact value of the variable.